What's up, everybody? We are here live with one of Taiwan's fittest, youngest, best-looking couples, the founders of the Nuli app. We've got them here with you tonight, right after this. All right, guys, welcome back. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I know you guys are really busy. Yeah, how's things? How's life?
Basically, it's been good. It's been busy, but productive. Yeah, so it's been good, yeah.
Okay, so it's been about a year since you launched the app, right?
Yeah, on March 16th, it'll be our 1-year anniversary since we launched.
Almost 1 year exactly, right? Yes. You got anything special for the 1-year anniversary?
We're actually going to take the team.
A day off?
Yeah,
would be nice.
We're planning to take the team on a trip.
Yeah. Beautiful, okay.
Go celebrate a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll be celebrating our users as well, posting some stories about their transformations and things like that.
Beautiful,
as well.
Man. Awesome. So what we do with this show is we kind of we'll have a wing and we'll ask questions. We just chat. It's totally casual. I mean, if you guys want a beer,
it's like the heat's just coming.
I know.
How are you guys with spicy food usually?
I'm okay, but
so
I'm gonna start breaking out in a sweat pretty soon.
Okay. Well, no worries, man. We got whatever you need. We got water or chata milk if you need anything else. We got.
Cool.
I mean, you guys probably don't drink soda or beer, but if you want, we've got that.
Beer once in a while on the weekend, but
okay.
Drove, so,
all right, beautiful.
Pass on that, yeah.
All right, so the first one we'll have one. First one is just a buffalo wing. It's just super basic, and we'll get that, and then we'll get started. Cool.
Okay.
So you guys is over there.
Cool.
So we're starting from this side, and when you guys take the leg, when you guys take the drum, and then we'll get rocking. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I will take this. Yeah.
That looks so good.
Yeah. Did you guys eat dinner yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
So we're ready to eat anything.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so start on the right one.
That one.
There you go, yeah.
Drum.
How's it sound? Good? All right. While they're trying their first wing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you guys are watching on Facebook right now, jump over to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, enjoy the show. All right.
So good.
Yes. Just leave the YouTube. Yes. It's okay. Yeah. Beauty. Okay. All right. You guys enjoy your wing. Yeah. So when you guys, maybe before we actually dive in, you guys could tell a little bit about yourselves before we started. Yeah. Who wants to go first? It's up to you guys.
You finish yours first. You go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hello everyone. I'm Candice, and right now I'm a founder of, co-founder.
The co-founders, yeah.
Of Nuli app, and then I am a full-time fitness influencer. So my job is mainly, aside from manage the app, I do a lot of content and share the content on social media like Instagram and YouTube. And we're looking to podcasts as well. So if you want to listen to my podcast, let me know and comment down below.
For sure, yeah. I was just saying, you guys should definitely have a podcast. Definitely. Yeah.
Start a podcast.
For sure.
I've been telling her only, a year now.
Yeah, so that's the background about me.
Beautiful.
I'm a fitness lover, and I really want to be able to help a lot of women out there who doesn't know about fitness at all, and help them to grow their confidence and, be physically and mentally strong. And that's what I love for my job, and that's what I do for my job.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for me, a little background about myself. I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
And I moved here almost 7 years ago now. And originally was teaching at a school, actually not too far from here, Koishan. That's actually how I first met
That's where
Eddy.
we met, yeah.
That's where we met, because he was helping out with the Wednesday sports program. And, I was a teacher there, and, got to chatting, because I was like, where's good Mexican food? And Eddie's like, I know just the place.
I know the place. It's not too far from here.
Not too far. So, been coming here ever since. Loved it. And so a few years ago, Candice and I started doing more on Instagram, and
Instagram is blown up for you guys.
So we were blessed in the fact that we started on that early on, and because I kind of was able to notice the trends of how things were going in, say, the States and other Western countries. And I noticed that, okay, Instagram seems to be really growing and seems to be pretty popular, but for some reason in Taiwan, it's not really catching on.
Okay.
So I'm like, why don't we just try to do that? Because at the time she was posting
just all in on Instagram.
Fitness content on Facebook.
Okay.
But Facebook was doing just okay. I'm like, why don't, it's not too much extra work just to do the same thing and post it on Instagram as well. So why don't we just do that as well? So that's, long story short, that's how we started, and eventually led us to, starting the Nuli app last year. And that's what we do full time now.
Nice. Yeah. I love it. So have you guys always been like super fitness buff kind of people? Like
for myself, I've always been into fitness in some sort of or another. Like for me, my motivation for fitness was because when I was younger, I was like super skinny, and
you want to attract girls?
Oh yeah.
Well, obviously that's always
hold up, I'll pull this one up while you're talking.
Oh yeah,
about
so
it.
you
there you go.
Oh wow.
Beautiful.
Wow.
I love it.
So yeah,
that's
that was
2010.
2010. I was only 78 kg, and that was actually after I had already been lifting a little bit.
Wow.
Okay.
So just imagine, like, even a year before that, it would be even skinnier. So I can't say I look like the picture on the right anymore. I would really like to look like that. I think Candice secretly wants that too. But yes, that was back when I was actually prepping for my the men's physique competition,
right?
Yeah, so that was a really good experience because it's really helped me learn even more about fitness and getting in shape and everything like that.
I love it. That's fantastic.
But yeah, my focus back then was just because I wanted to get stronger because I was like skinny. I'm like, I don't like who I am right now. I want to be stronger and bigger, and also because I played sports too, I knew that would be beneficial as well.
I was going to say you were an athlete, right? Most of your life,
for the most part,
stuff,
yeah.
Right?
I played basketball was mostly just for fun, and I played like in high school and middle school. But yeah, soccer I played keeper, and then I also did track and field.
In CrossFit.
So. I did CrossFit back in the day too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. Wow, that's cool. And actually, we'll pull that picture up again. And Candice was a flight attendant.
Yeah,
I did not know that until I was cyber stalking you guys today.
Oh, really?
Because we do a show, we got to get some pictures, and I went in, I was like, oh my gosh, wow, okay.
Yeah. So
how's that transition from?
It's a very big transition, and it's a surprise for my family as well. So back in I think 2000. What year was it? 2015 or 14? No. It was even, anyways, a few years ago, I was a flight attendant, and then I worked for Cathay Pacific. So I used to live in Hong Kong for almost 2 to 3 years. And then I got into like fitness, and I, really like, how I feel after I work out. I feel like, I'm like energetic and, feel really confident and strong. And one of the reasons I started workout is because back in when I was working on the plan, it's very, very demanding, like physically demanding. So I realized that I kind of just like lose my energy every time I've done my shift. I just like don't want to move at all, and like don't want to do anything at all. And I had like this, with all the time difference and everything, I just feel like overall very exhausted. And then Daniel encouraged me, say, why don't you start, lifting weights or like do some body weights and just to like build your strength overall. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. And after I tried a couple of times, I love it, and I feel like, okay, this is something that I want to pursue in the future. So that's why I transitioned from flight attendant to fitness trainer over the years.
I think in Taiwan, everybody, when you talk to people, it seems almost all the girls want to be a flight attendant. Like, I mean, is there a reason? I mean, when I came to Taiwan, I was shocked that when I talked to, like, when I have the restaurant and when I talk to college students or whatever, everybody's like flight attendant. And I was like, I never, like in Canada, it's a good job for sure. But I'm just in Taiwan, it's like on a pedestal. It's like everyone's dream job.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you think?
Well, I feel like the reason why I decided to go to Hong Kong to accept this job, one of the reasons is that it's for the experience, you know?
Great.
Like you get to fly, you get paid
You get to pay to travel.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
travel, and then
Yeah.
you have this, flexibility in your schedule. You can, if you want to work, then you can work. If you want to like take a few days off, you can just switch your shift with someone else, and
Okay.
it's so flexible,
Okay.
and it's a good pay.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, like back then, I don't know about now with the COVID
Okay.
and everything,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, that's-
back then
that's something
it was
else.
a
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
decent job, and
Okay.
I got a nice pay, and then I only worked like 15 days per month,
Oh wow. Okay. Okay.
and and then it's really fun because you get to travel so much. You get to meet different people from all over the countries.
Okay.
So yeah.
And I mean, is there, like, I don't get to travel that much, but when I do, I mean, I enjoy it. But there's obviously jet lag if you go really far, right? So
Yeah.
if you're doing that job like full time, is it like permanent jet lag, or is there a trick or a secret to get over?
Well, you can't really get over it.
No.
I will be honest, but you can try your best.
Okay.
Like, some flight attendant, like some colleagues that I know, they took some kind of like supplements or like pills to help them.
Okay.
But for me personally, I want to like sleep naturally, not like rely on supplements or anything like that. So
Okay.
what I do is I usually take long haul flights.
Okay.
And then I don't do any short haul flights in between long haul flights, so
okay,
I
okay.
get a fully rest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. That makes
before
sense.
next long haul flight. So
Okay.
that's what I do.
I think it
Yeah.
also it's a little different for you because being a flight attendant, you don't have the privilege of sleeping whenever you want because you need to work during
Yeah.
the flight,
Okay.
right? Because there's actually there's ways that business travelers or regular travelers
Yeah.
can there's certain hacks you can do to sleep at certain times to kind of optimize or minimize the effects of jet lag.
Okay.
But when you're a flight attendant, it's like you got to work, so it's kind of not really an option.
That's got to be
Yeah.
tough, right?
Yeah.
I always imagine it must be very tough. Yeah.
Yeah, it is physically demanding. Yeah.
What about teaching, man? So you started as a teacher out here,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
from jumping from teaching to being an entrepreneur yourself, being a founder of the company, Nuli app.
Yeah.
How's that transition been for you?
It was something that happened over many years. It definitely wasn't something that just happened overnight. It
Okay.
took a lot of time, a lot of trial and error of trying different sorts of things. But I clearly remember like there was one time where it was actually funny how it actually started because
Okay.
we had, or actually myself, I was invited by my school to teach during winter school to
Okay.
stay and make a little extra cash working during the winter holiday.
Okay.
And one of the classes that I was assigned to teach was business management.
Oh, beauty.
And
Okay.
I didn't actually have any experience in digital management or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like they just told me like, here's the books and everything, you can just try it out. And I had an interest in it. And so in reading the books and everything, I was like, you know what? It would actually be pretty cool to like start a business because
Okay.
back in the day, I had done some little stuff, like back in the States, you like mow lawns and things like that. to
Yeah,
make some
sure,
money
as
on
a
the
kid,
side.
right?
Yeah, as a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this was interesting. So like, funny enough, the first thing we ended up doing was just to sell some stuff on Amazon, like through
Okay, sure, like the
FBA and
drop
everything.
shipping
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
deal,
And so
yeah,
we
yeah.
tried that.
How did that work out?
It didn't work out because we bought into the whole. If you remember, like 4 years ago, there was a whole fidget spinner craze.
Oh shoot! Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think I
so
still have a
we
couple
saw
of those,
that
yeah.
and we're like, oh man, this is the next big thing. We need to get in on this, and we're gonna
Yeah.
become millionaires overnight. And
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
that
sure,
that
that's
doesn't
great, yeah.
happen, So,
okay.
but it was a really, really good learning experience. And so through that whole process, it gave us a little taste of like, okay, this is what it's like, and we realized, okay, we liked what we saw, and we're like, okay, this is something that we want to pursue long term. But the lesson behind that was, don't just go on what's popular and what's trending.
Okay. The trends.
Go
okay.
with what you actually have an interest in.
Okay,
Because
that makes sense.
if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't have an interest in that, you're gonna get bored of it.
It's gonna be tough,
Yeah,
right?
It's gonna,
I think
it's
it's
be
tough.
tough.
Yeah, you're gonna give up pretty soon.
Yeah. So for Candice, the natural thing was fitness, and so she
Okay.
enjoyed doing fitness. I enjoyed doing fitness as well, and that's something that we just naturally had an interest in. So that's what we decided to pursue, and then so since then it's just been constant trial and error to where we are now, and even where we are now, I would say we're nowhere near where we want to be. It's just we're still at very, very early stages.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is like it's like a lifestyle, right? It's
Yeah.
like a lifelong
Yeah.
journey. You're not
Exactly.
like, hey, you hit this mark and you're like, all right, I'm done. You know,
Yeah.
go sell out
Right.
and
Right.
go live in the Bahamas or something.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you
Exactly.
can.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be great. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
someday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
True.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we can grab the next one.
Oh, you
The
just
next
did.
one. That's okay.
Sorry.
That's totally
I'm
cool.
like-
No, that's okay.
too
Eat whatever.
hungry,
Eat
huh?
them all.
Temptations
So next
right
one,
there.
how is it? The
It's
next one is a
pretty spicy.
chipotle. This one is like
send me the
a
drumstick. I
honey
want the
chipotle.
drumsticks.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, you can have that one too if you want. If you're starving, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because a
It's all
little
good.
bit
Okay,
spicy right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we have milk and we
We
have
usually
horchata.
order this one.
Yeah, it's
Whenever we come,
it's
we
honey
usually
chipotle,
Yeah.
right?
honey chipotle. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the first round is mildish, I think, right? And then it's just for fun anyways. So how do you feel now? How about Candice can go first? How do you feel now from you're a flight attendant, you're an employee, and now you're the boss, right? I think you guys are co-founding, you have your company, you have your team. What are the differences in maybe responsibilities that you feel now?
Well, it's definitely a tough job. I'm pretty sure you can relate
Sure,
to.
I can
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so it's very more demanding because but the difference is I felt like before I was working for someone and it was just for the job and I enjoy like traveling around, things like that, but I know for sure that's not something I want to do for long term.
Okay.
But right now, when I'm doing something that I actually love, it actually gives me a lot of motivation and perseverance to keep going, even though it's tough, even though there's a lot of difficulties that we need to deal with. But I feel like that passion right there it drives you to move forward, drives you to like keep doing even though it's difficult. I think that attitude, that mindset towards my job is completely different than I was working, as a flight attendant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Daniel, I remember back in the day we were sharing our love for Gary Vee, right?
Oh, yeah,
do
yeah.
Do you have anything to add to what Candice was saying?
I think there's another thing that I would touch on, and that is the fact that there's a huge difference between being a solopreneur and having a team. Because when you have a team, it's no longer about just managing what's going on for the business. You also have to manage a team. You have to manage people's feelings, people's emotions, whether or not they get along, whether or not they're able to get the job done that you want them to get done.
Having people get along is not as easy as people. People think.
I
feel like that's the hardest
You would never
part.
think that running a company also means that you need to learn how to manage people and like take care of people as well. If people think, like being in business, like you just need to know your numbers, you need to know how to, have a good business mindset.
Yeah.
Have good marketing ideas, things like that. It's not just that. You also need to know how to manage a team. Like I would say that's the number one thing that we've really had to learn over this past year since we've, launched this app, and we haven't been able to do this on our own. Previously with Candice, we were selling some online programs.
Okay.
For the most part, it was just Candice and I handling things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in order to do this app, we really have to have an entire team behind us.
When was the point where you took the step and you're like, we can't do this alone. Let's hire, an app developer, or I don't know how to build an app, so I'm not sure what you need.
Yeah.
Somebody to build it, I guess, right?
Well, the first step actually was we hired
an assistant.
an assistant. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sure.
that was
Oh, that's so
actually,
helpful,
That was
I would say,
before
that was actually almost a year before we launched
the app.
Okay.
the app. We or half a year. We hired an assistant to help Candice out because there was a lot of things on the customer service end that she needed help with, and so it was really good to have an assistant to help with that. And then another thing we did after that was to hire a videographer to help with
YouTube
filming
and
content, YouTube
Yeah.
video editing and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys focus a lot on YouTube, or
Mainly on Instagram.
most because Instagram?
Instagram's the main thing. We're trying to do more and more YouTube because there's still a lot of potential,
potential
there
on
that
YouTube,
we haven't
for
been
sure.
tapping
Yeah.
into. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I did some of the research. It was last year, but they said that I believe there's 31 million YouTube channels, something like that,
Wow.
which is
Yeah.
a lot, but like worldwide, it's not that much.
Yeah, that's
right.
crazy, yeah.
And then like 1,000 subs or more, it drops to like about 80,000. Like it's really, it's not that much. So definitely, there's a lot of potential too. And you see some channels blow up and some take a long time to grow.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think, like for example, like we don't have cable TV anymore. We don't really watch much TV. Like we just watch YouTube, right? Like my daughter has never had cable because she just have YouTube. You know, I think it's pretty huge. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, I think it's great. I think it's great what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And man, I'm loving it. Yeah. Is there anything that you feel is different? Like now that you have your business, you can grab your wing if you want to go for it.
Okay.
If there's anything that you think is different, like different than what you thought it would be. Like you're like you're the boss now, and you're like, wow, it's different than what I thought.
You have something in mind? I need to think about this.
No problem.
I mean, it's almost like where to begin, because there's so many things that you initially think it's going to be a certain way, and then it's actually not a certain way. Because I think the biggest wake up call for us when we first launched the app is, now we have a team, right? We're running this whole operation.
Yep.
We see a lot of money coming in, but then you got to pay all these expenses, and there's literally like barely anything left.
Right.
And then like, you're responsible for all these people, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Agreed.
Exactly. And so people think like when you get into business, you're going to make a ton of money. You're
rich.
You got a lot of money. It's like, you see a lot of money coming in, and then a lot of money going right back out to pay all the pay all the expenses, And so, obviously, it's at some point, you will start to make more money. That's just something that will happen.
Sure.
But I feel like there's probably a lot of people who will give up too early because they're like, this isn't what I thought it would be. And I'm like, I'm not really making any money, so I guess this business isn't working, and so that's it. But that's not it. Like, you just have to keep persevering and pushing through, and eventually you'll get there.
For me, with my industry, with the restaurant industry, I think the stats are like most restaurants close in a year or 5, and like 1% lasts 10 years or more. And I think it's for that same reason. Like I think you get into it, and I always say the same thing, but it's like the work for reward ratio is just like so skewed, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're putting in this much work, and then after the bills and all, you're getting like you have this sometimes, Sometimes you're like you make a little bit, sometimes you're under, and you're just like, wow, when are we gonna break through and be able to like salary ourselves and stuff, and personally for me with a restaurant, it took longer than I thought it would, but I would imagine most businesses are like that. Yeah. I mean, everybody assumes like I can make a taco or I can make a hamburger. Right. Oh man, I'm gonna go and open a place, and it's crazy. It's a crazy business, man. Being an entrepreneur. So how about your families? How did your families feel from a teacher and like a flight attendant, which are like super like highly viewed positions in Taiwan, going into like doing your own business?
Oh, Candice, you have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, like before, when I told my parents that I'm gonna quit my job and then move back to Taiwan to be a personal trainer, and my mom was like, so after this personal trainer job, what's your next job? So she was like being, what's it called, like
Taiwanese moms.
Moms
are
like
tough too.
she want me to like just have a stable job and then just live like that, and then just like have a family and have kids, like typical Taiwanese mom. And so I don't blame her, because I know she's just worried.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone
So but one thing I'm really grateful for is that she still let me do it.
Sure. Okay.
She didn't want to like just control my life, so to say.
Sure. Okay.
So I quit my job and then come back, and then after I think 3 years of being a personal trainer at the gym, I told her that I'm gonna switch to part-time, and now she started to worry again. She's like, okay, being a part-time personal trainer, is that gonna help you financially? Like, how are you gonna support yourself? And then back then, that's when we're planning to get married. So like getting married in Taiwan, there's a lot of expense you need to cover. So my mom was really worried about that as well. Speaking
of that, keep going.
Those
are great.
Exactly.
Those are good ones. Those are so good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, I told her that, I'm gonna quit my personal training job, and I'm gonna be a full-time like influencer.
Yeah.
And for her, influencer is not a job. She thinks that influencer is just like having fun on social media, but it's not a job. It's not a stable job, which I understand. But
It's a hard thing to explain, I'm sure.
yeah, very hard to explain. But I'm really glad that, you know, Daniel, he has been really support me in my decision. And then back then, to be honest, I was making very little because, you know, when you go into like social media, you can't make money from social media. At least like not the first at least it's not like first year or two.
It's like a business, right? It's hard.
You have to like you have to build trust with the audience, and by building trust, you need to put a lot of content. You need to put a lot of effort into it. So back then I was like didn't making a lot, but he supported me financially and mentally.
Okay.
So
and mental is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's how it got me here today.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good job, man. That's fantastic. What about yourself, man?
Well, for me, I would say I was really blessed to have parents who've always been really supportive.
Okay.
From the very beginning. One thing I would say is, or one thing that's really unique about myself is that actually growing up, pretty much my entire life I was homeschooled. And so
really?
being homeschooled,
I
think really helped me for where I am today because growing up, it was always about trying new things. My parents were always encouraging me to try new things. Don't just, accept the status quo. Just try to do your own thing. And I think that's really what's helped shape the mindset that I have today. Because even when I was younger, as a teenager, my mom was always encouraging myself and my sisters to always do whatever we were interested in.
Okay. That's good.
The only because my mom's Asian, she's from Hong Kong. So the one I would say quote unquote Asian thing she did is she mandated that all her kids play an instrument.
Okay.
Like they got to learn an instrument.
Enough,
but outside of that,
and
a lot of it
was it.
So I did piano, but I ended up picking up a lot of other instruments as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But cool. Piano was the main one. But anyway. I also started getting interested in like magic and juggling back when I was a teenager. And so I started learning it. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then my mom was like, oh, why don't you like teach it to the other kids? And, you can charge them a little bit and you can make some money as well.
Yeah,
and so that was kind of like the little start of like that entrepreneur mindset right? as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
Planting
for me,
seed.
when my parents heard me tell them, this is what I plan to do, like there was nothing at all about like, are you sure this is what you want to do? I mean, there might have been a little bit initially because, like, funny enough, after my first year of teaching, I already knew like I didn't want to be a teacher long term. Like I already knew this is not what I want to do forever.
Okay.
So,
good.
like at first when they heard that, they were like, "Are you sure? You literally just started teaching. How are you so sure?"
Okay.
But over the years, as I told them, we were trying new things. Then they're really supportive.
That's good, man. Wow. For me, my parents, we were telling about the restaurant. I'm like, I think we're going to do food. And my mom was like, because my mom makes food. And she's like, oh, my gosh, it's so much work and so little return. She's like, are you sure? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like really supportive. And she's like, I really support you, but are you sure? It's so much work. And it's, I'm really going to make any money.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, we're going to try it. And she's like, are you sure? So it was funny. But the funny part of that was... after I got married, I was coaching soccer and teaching English, and both were paying pretty good, right? And so for myself, I can do whatever. I mean, I can dig ditches. I'm happy with that. But my wife was also teaching, and she didn't like it. Sometimes some of the schools, if you're an English teacher and you're Taiwanese, they take a little bit of advantage. So that school was, and I asked my wife, what do you want to do? And then, she said coffee shop. And I said, well, that's tough because I don't really drink much coffee. So we started the restaurant. And before we started, we wanted to start small, right? So basically, we started a stand. So I married, so you can think about it, my in-laws are a Hakka from Miaoli, right? So I married their daughter. She's a teacher. And then I turned her into a street vendor, right? So she was like, I took her from the teaching, which is like one of the top things, and then she was like in Dan Shui Lao Jie, selling burritos, right? So they were kind of like, what is this foreigner doing with my daughter? And I'm like, don't worry, we're gonna try it. If it's good, then we'll grow it. If it sucks, we'll close it down. And yeah, we saw a lot of potential. For the first year, we made like zero.
Wow.
But I still was coaching and teaching, and yeah, it was good, but it was crazy. It's a crazy ride for sure.
Wow. How long did it take before you started a restaurant?
So we did the stand for 1 year. And then, so most people don't know this, but like in Danshui Laojie, for example, you get your one ping. That little one ping was 33,000 a month, the rent.
Oh my god!
So it's very. It might be more now. This was like 14 years ago, so it might be more now. I have no idea. So you have your one. You can't live there. There's no. I mean, okay, electricity is included, but that's it. There's no storage, and so we had that, and we also had to rent the place to live, our house, and all that stuff. So from this really busy Laojie area, about one street over, it was much less busy, but there was a building sort of up the road where you could have a first floor restaurant, second floor apartment, and then like a third floor rooftop, and that was 36,000. So actually we're saving money on rent basically when we went from the stand to the restaurant. Yeah, it was crazy. Way worse location, because I mean the night markets usually are crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it was much worse, But yeah, I mean, it took us about almost a year, and then we thought, okay, should we renew this contract, or should we just take a look around? And so we did, and yeah, again, it took a long time to make some money and start to salary ourselves and stuff. But it's a long game, right? I think it's the long game, and I don't know, but. Yeah, I don't regret anything. I love it. I'm happy with what we're doing. Things are pretty good. If I would have told myself, you're not going to make money for 10 years, I would have thought that would be like, am I doing the right thing here? Yeah. You're going to miss like going home for like 10 years. You're going to miss your best friend's wedding. You're going to miss everything because you're going to be broke for 10 years. It's kind of like, But now it's great. We're happy. We're able to live pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Wow.
It's not going to take 10 years for you guys. You guys are doing it right with the social media. It's like, I mean, it's good. I mean, at that time, I remember it was maybe my first or second year, and somebody was like, hey, you know what, there's this new thing called Facebook. You should check it out. And I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. It's free? Okay, I'll use it. So it was good. And from then on, we were like, it's pretty good. But I think now, definitely Facebook is pretty good, but I think it seems to be like I hate to say it, but like an older crowd is using Facebook, and I think like Instagram is maybe like 30 and under. It seems, I don't know. I mean, like we don't get very much traction on Instagram, but on Facebook, it works well for us at the restaurant. So I don't know.
I see. Wow.
You have any Instagram tips?
Candice can.
You're the Instagram queen. Come on.
Candice has a lot.
Well, I feel like a lot of people try to be show another side of themselves on Instagram, and actually Instagram, even though the algorithm is like it changes every time and it's going down, but I feel like if you want to build your personal brand on Instagram, well, first you need to be very genuine to your audience, because believe it or not, your audience can they understand, like they can tell if you're being yourself, or if you're trying to being someone else you're not. And so I feel like engagement is very important, and how to build engagement is by sharing genuine content and constantly interact with your audience, not just through posts and also through like stories. So back then I did a lot of stories and I did a lot of posts every day, and also I try to show the different areas of my life. For example, my relationship with my husband.
Sure, yeah, of course.
And then the audience just love it, because even though you provide a good content for fitness, but they really want to see like what's your personal life look like
behind the scenes.
Behind the scene. And then they just I can tell, like when I share my like personal life, my engagement just like went up.
Okay.
So
I mean, it's the whole reason why back in the day, like all of a sudden reality TV shows started getting really, really popular.
Because people are nosy. They want to know what's going on.
They want to know what's going on.
Right?
Exactly. So
true.
it still holds true to this day. If you only just show certain types of content or what you decide to post, and you don't show behind the scenes stuff, actually real, genuine stuff, you're really, really missing out on a whole other side of social media.
I think YouTube. I mean, you guys. I think you guys would do well on YouTube as well, because I think also there's a lot of like influencers and they're like, here's my apartment, you know, and they like show their apartment, and then all of a sudden it's like 200,000 views, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. My apartment's a mess, so I can't do it. So I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. How was that wing? All good?
Yeah,
wasn't
good,
as spicy.
good.
I think it was less spicy, right?
Yeah.
So do you guys have any sort of team building exercises that you guys use with your team right now? How big is your team right now? This one's Korean, so this one's really popular.
Oh, really?
This is super popular. We have a couple fusion ones, and this one's a Korean one that we make, which is pretty cool.
Team size, right? Yeah, so team size, we currently have 5 full-time team members on staff, and then we have around 4 or 5 part-time part-time team members. Freelancers / part-time.
Yeah. No.
Does that include like the people that are on the app, right?
No, so this doesn't even include the people that are doing the app, because we have a business partnership with the people who are doing the app. So that's their whole other team there as well. But I would say, like, all in all, there's at least 15 people plus behind the app.
Okay. Wow. That's But the app is going well. I saw that you guys had an event. It was a week ago, I believe, or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So the event was actually just more of a. So it was a promotion that we did with the app. We did a little sale to celebrate Chinese New Year and to give people a little incentive to, push them over the edge to make the commitment to. Building a better body right after the New Year holiday and everything like that.
That's perfect timing, I think, right? I would
so
imagine gym sales and that goes up.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we also, so this year is a bus that we ended up, or the truck, moving stage truck they call it, that we rented for 5 days. He was driving around the city and everything just to be part of all the promotional activity we were doing for that as well.
And how was that experience? I mean, was it the first time you've done something big like this?
Yeah, so it was definitely the first time we did something that big of that magnitude. So the truck was pretty cool, but actually a lot of our budget actually went into social media marketing. So in terms of your
ads.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, that kind of stuff.
Okay, beautiful. So and the truck was driving around Taipei City and stuff.
Yeah, so it was driving around Taipei City.
It's very spicy.
Get in on that.
It's really spicy.
Sorry.
No worries. But so driving around Taipei City, in terms of like an actual ROI, it's not nearly anything what you would see from compared to Instagram or Facebook or things like that, because it's those are hyper targeted ads that you can run. This was more so for branding, to be able to show people, we have this event going on. We got this truck driving around, trying to just build awareness of the brand and the app and everything.
Okay. I mean, you guys have been doing events for a while, right? I mean, I remember you guys were doing something like this, right?
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
It was like 2018.
I dug deep. I dug deep to find some pictures. So what kind of this kind of an event is like a live fitness class?
It's like a boot camp, like workout boot camp. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, what we had before is we had a workout session with the followers, and then after that we have some game time with them, and then we have a Q&A session with them. Oh my gosh, my tongue is like on fire. Sorry. No worries.
Okay, it's all right. I'm gonna
drink the horchata.
Yeah, it's a little zoom.
I was like trying to speak.
A little zoom cam.
And we're only like halfway through, right?
I'll call out the
second
second round.
Be even hotter.
If somebody looks at me, I will call out for the second round, but nobody's looking.
I can't even pronounce.
All right.
But it's good. It's just I'm not very used to spicy.
It's all right. No problem. We can stop whenever you guys want. It's all good. We're just chatting. Yeah. Somebody looks this way, I will okay the second round. Yeah. How are you doing with the spice, man?
Good. I love spicy.
All right. Okay. Good.
I just sweat.
This is okay with you?
This one's okay. This is the Korean.
Wow.
All right. You can do round 2. Yeah. Just
Thank
leave.
you.
Okay, yeah. You can okay round 2. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so what I try to do, for fun to break it up in the middle, I'll do like a little rapid fire. I'll ask you guys a couple questions, yeah?
Okay.
And you just go rapid. I mean, I'll ask you a question, and if you think it's you say you. You know, you point to yourself. You think if it's Daniel, you point to Daniel.
Okay.
Same for you, Daniel. If you think it's you put up your hand. If you think it's Candice, you point to her.
Anything negative, I'll just point this way.
All right, there you go. all right, okay. Who is most likely to get lost?
Oh man,
that's so
definitely-
easy.
That's so
There you
easy.
go.
Sorry,
Hands down.
I
you.
have zero direction.
Okay, well, my wife has this is the same thing. So, all right, who's always right? Ooh, I do. That's always a controversial one for sure.
Yeah, that's controversial.
All right, just for something fun. Oh, this is a tough one with you guys. I don't know. Okay, I'll who is better looking?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Okay, I'll
All
say
right, he'll take that. Daniel will take that one for
Be
the record.
humble.
Okay. Who's a
am,
bigger
thank you.
flirt?
Oh man, that's him.
it's him,
Oh
that's
man.
him.
Oh my gosh, there's so much stories.
That's
So
the
many
man.
stories.
He's
about
a flirt.
this.
So many stories. Okay,
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
Hey,
Who's-
it's honestly a skill.
It's a
Not everyone
skill.
has it. It's hard
He's
to
been
develop.
sharp.
I should have my own course and sell classes.
He's been sharpening those tools for a while. Yeah? Okay. Who's a better cook? Oh, he's going to take that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's most likely to give the other food poisoning?
Probably me.
Yeah, with her cooking, I wouldn't doubt it.
All right. Who's the better travel companion?
Well, I would say it goes both ways because
Okay.
the reason we say it is because I always do the planning.
Okay.
And I'll always plan where we want to go, and I'll make all the arrangements, and she will just follow along.
Okay.
Which is great because when you have someone like me who likes to plan stuff, it's not good if you have a partner who's also like you, because then
yeah.
you'll butt heads about where you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that
just am
makes
like,
sense.
I want to go all these places, and she'll be like, okay, and then she just follows along.
That's awesome.
flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, when we travel, my wife is always like, okay, we need to do this. We need to. All I have to make sure of is there going to be good food there. Like we're going to Japan. All right, for 3 days.
Yeah,
that's
Candice
like,
is
what,
the same.
9
It's like-
meals. I'm like, okay, we gotta get wagyu. We gotta get sushi. We gotta get ichiran. We gotta get I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
so we have a couple to play with.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, it's like we're doing this. It's like, all right, let's go. Yeah. Who's better at saving money?
Me.
No, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that.
No, it's definitely
No,
me.
it's definitely not.
Oh, right.
No.
Okay.
It's about equal.
No.
That's fun. Equal. Okay, we'll take that.
Definitely about equal. Oh, easily.
Who's the most stubborn? Oh, I love it.
Definitely you.
No,
okay?
definitely
That's
you.
always the answer. That's
Oh
always
my
the
God.
answer.
No, you are so much more stubborn than me.
You too.
Hands down.
Who's the messiest?
You don't make the bed.
You rarely clean the house.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. These are fun. Who has a better sense of style?
Me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd say her.
Okay. She'll take
I'll
that.
give that to
All
her.
right. Beautiful. Who's a better singer?
Me.
I don't sing.
You? Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
I can play
He can
instruments,
play,
but
yeah.
I can't sing.
Who's a better dancer?
Me.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, you don't want to see me
and
dance.
dancing. Okay, fantastic. We got a karaoke night coming up next week, so come on down. Yeah. Who can handle more wine?
Definitely him.
Okay.
Higher metabolism.
Actually, when my wife has like half a glass, she gets all red and itchy, and then she's like, "We need to go home.
Oh,
I feel
really?
sick." I'm like,
Wow.
really? Okay.
Wow.
That's crazy. Who's most likely to end up in jail after a long night of partying?
Of course him.
course
Oh my
him,
God, that's
not
an
you.
easy answer.
Okay.
Well, it's
easy
funny
one.
because I
Because you have a
I
story
actually
that
did.
you did.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, let's have it. That's fantastic. How did that happen? Yeah.
I'll try to keep it short, but basically, it was back when I was in Chicago. I was out partying, celebrating my birthday with friends,
That's how it starts.
and
sure.
we were walking home because I used to live downtown at that time. It was like a 2-mile walk. We're like, oh, we'll just walk it off. and we passed by Soldier Field, which is the NFL Bears football stadium.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And we're like, oh man, that place is empty. That looks pretty cool. We should like go see what's
Just
inside.
go in there, yeah.
So we hopped across. We're walking around. Security came, said you're not supposed to be here, and then we got arrested. So
Okay.
Under arrested.
Boys, right? Boys just want to test everything, man.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We do. Who's the most likely to deal with the spider in the bathtub? Okay. Yeah. Awesome. All right. No argument on that one. All right, we're almost done. Who's the most likely to drop their phone in the toilet?
Me.
You did before, didn't you?
No, that's my toothbrush.
Okay. I know that you changed it afterwards.
Yeah.
Who's the most likely to do the laundry?
I fold the clothes,
Well,
which is the difficult
so
part.
this is the nice part. We split it. So I'll
Beauty.
wash it, and then she'll...
You just like literally just
Well,
push a button.
That's
Okay.
before we got the dryer. Before
Okay.
we got the dryer, you know, here in Taiwan, you had
The
to
dryer.
hang up your clothes and everything like that. That's a whole process in and of itself.
For sure it is, yeah.
But then, you know, now we have a dryer, so it's just, touch a button. So I get off with the easy part.
Awesome. So for us, we've had a dryer,
Yeah.
but my wife always is like, you gotta hang it for like a day before you put it in the dryer. I'm like, what? Because I would like take the wet clothes, throw them in the dryer.
Oh, yeah, of course,
That's
And
the
then like
purpose.
my mother-in-law would be like, no, and then my wife is like, everyone's like, no, that's not the right way to do it. I'm like, wish I've been doing that my whole life. Like, it's fine.
no
You're gonna
issue
ruin the
there.
clothes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Awesome. I'm gonna have to share that clip with her for
Yeah.
sure. One more, last one. Who was the first to apologize after an argument?
That's because I'm
all we
always
got.
right, so that's why you have to
Okay.
apologize to me.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's it. Very good. You guys killed it. Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Cool.
Fantastic. The second round of wings should be coming out real quick.
Yep. Can't wait.
So you guys, what percentage would you say for fitness is diet and exercise? I mean, what kind of a percentage do you think would be exercise versus diet?
I would say...
Well, a lot of people say it's like 70% versus
Even 80%.
like 30%. But honestly, I feel like training is just as important
Okay.
as
50-50.
diet. Yeah. So
Okay.
for me, I personally feel it's 50-50.
Wow. Okay.
The real question is, are you asking about how you look or in terms of overall health and fitness?
Okay.
Because if you want to look good and like have a six-pack and lose
Everybody
body fat
wants
and everything,
that, but nobody has
then diet is the key way to do it.
Okay.
You know, you can work out all you want, but if you're eating terribly, you're eating junk food and everything like that, you won't be able to cut weight and lose fat and
Okay.
everything like that.
Okay.
But most people, that's not their only desire. They also they know that if I work out, if I'm active, I'm gonna have I'll be more likely to live a longer life, to
Okay.
avoid cancer or things like that. Just have a better overall life.
health
And so I
benefits.
feel like in that aspect, that's where actually exercising is more important because
So that would be like the average person who's not going to like a fitness competition. right?
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You would say it would be what? Candice is saying 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50.
I would say
You're
50-50. When you're first, well, for the people who are like overweight and they just want to get down to a healthy weight,
Yeah.
definitely diet is the most important in that
Okay.
aspect. I mean, it would be that 70-30, even 80-20, depending on how overweight they are,
Okay.
because it really gets to a point where you really need to be watching what you eat if you want to lose any weight.
Okay.
But once you get to a weight that's acceptable, it doesn't need to be competition level or anything like that. But just you're at a healthy body weight, you're not overweight. Then at that point, like what Candice said, being 50-50, like focusing half your effort on training well, being active, having an active lifestyle, and the other half on diet is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I think so. The average person, diet is more important, right? You would think. You would say kind of like diet would be more. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say. It's like chicken and the egg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, what would be some advice for someone who is like looking to get in shape, like right now? Step one, get the app. Nuli app, right? Actually, the link is in the description. I have your guys' IG also linked in
get
the
the app
description
so
as well.
you have
First step,
direction.
by the app. Okay, second.
Second, I feel like it's review why over the course of time that you've gained weight. So basically, you need to change your behavior, like your habits, so to say. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's up? Oh, you want to refill? Yeah, can we refill?
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So a lot of people think that when they want to lose weight, they have to be on strict diets and like work out 5 times a week or something like that, and then only find out it's too hard for me to keep going, and I quit like after 2 weeks or so. So I feel like the best suggestion that I can give to people who are looking for losing weight is to start with small changes. For example, hit like 2,000 steps every day, or like drink more water every day, or like substitute water with like whatever sugar drink that you like, things like that.
Switch pop for water, right?
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
when people are big, that's always seems to be the first thing, right? Like if they switch pop to water. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They switch to water, it helps, right?
Yeah. So I feel like it's start small. So don't try to like drastically change your habits or behavior. It's just like small step at a time. So that will help you to move forward and keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, I think we have a couple of questions. Josephine Wong, awesome. The food looks delicious. Podcast, yes. So you guys got a thumbs up for the podcast. There you go. Yeah.
Awesome.
So their podcast is coming soon.
Yeah.
What's a healthy sort of body fat percentage?
For
I
women?
guess man and women must be different.
Yeah, for women it's like 20 to 25%.
Okay.
That's something that I want to share about, is that people, especially like for girls or like fitness influencer, they always shared about like how lean they are. For example, I'm like 15% body fat or 18% body fat, and so that's why like people or like people who started working out, they feel like they need to get that number as well in order to be fit and healthy. But it's actually not. Like being healthy doesn't mean your body fat should be low. Like below 20%, it should be like 20 to 25. So as a fitness influencer, like I don't know my body fat, but I know for sure it's within that range.
Okay.
Like I'm not super lean, like 18% body fat or 15% body fat. But as an influencer, people like they think that you should be around like 18% body fat because you're a fitness influencer. But this is not a fitness influencer I want to I want to present, because this is not for me, this is not sustainable, and this is not a healthy life that I want to achieve. I want to have a balanced life. So I want to enjoy
your life.
I want to enjoy the wins. I want to enjoy the food, and for the most part, I eat healthy. I work out like 4 to 5 times a week. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I have to restrict myself from the food that I like. Okay. So that's something that I really want to share with the audience, is that being fit and healthy doesn't mean you have low body fat. It doesn't mean that. It just doesn't equal that.
And I think a lot of it also has to do with genetics as well, because for me,
I was going to ask about
I naturally stay under 10% without trying. I usually am around 8%.
No.
I know.
Okay.
I'm always usually around 8% body fat.
40, it's going to kind
of without trying too hard, and it's just I fluctuate between 8 to 10. And if I really, really cut down, like for the competition, easily under 5%, and that's just because like when you're doing competition and you're really lean, that's just for me it's a lot. That was a while back.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep going. I'm not cutting you off. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah. So but it's like for other people I know, there's guys who they look leaner than me.
Oh my God, you started on the wrong side.
Oh, you wouldn't. It's always right this way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you started on the wrong side.
You gotta do the zoom in and
oh my gosh.
Put some stuff on there.
I'm sorry I didn't even see you grab it. You started on the wrong side. Yeah. Oh. Don't touch your eyes, though.
Yeah,
okay?
Don't touch your eyes.
Yeah.
Did you just eat the hottest wing?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, started on the wrong side. Sorry about that.
That's like ghost pepper or something, right?
That's like Trinidad scorpion, ghost pepper. That's like a That's the end. I mean, not many people get there. So
Yeah, you started at the end. What happened?
She grabbed this one. Yeah, I was like, ooh.
You're supposed to start over here.
Yeah, well, now I don't
That's
think
why
I'll
you wait. You wait for the instructions.
That's okay, no problem. It's all good. It's all good.
I thought
She's
this
hungry.
one is not as spicy.
Yeah, no. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Well, you got water and milk and horchata. Milk helps a lot. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Okay, sorry. Oh shoot, I didn't even notice you grabbed that one. My bad. My bad. Oh man. Okay.
You should do some while I'm like.
Okay, just let her.
Okay,
recover,
so
yeah.
anyway, I'll keep going, but yeah, because I know there's guys who are, fitness influencers as well, and they even look in better shape than I do, but their body fat percentage, it's really hard for them to get under 10% body fat. So I feel like it's not always the best gauge, because some people, like, they'll naturally store body fat in certain areas, which then when you do the test, then makes the overall result go higher.
How do you feel like body type fits into that, like the ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph?
Yeah. Oh, it definitely plays a lot into that, because I'm the kind of person that you call
I didn't notice. I feel so bad.
No worries.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
that it's called a hard gainer, so it's really hard for me to put on muscle, but at the same time the trade-off is it's really hard. I mean, it's really easy for me to stay lean.
Okay.
But it's difficult. Like for example, Candice is always jealous of me because she's like, I wish I could have your body. It's like always able to stay so lean. But for me, the problem is, like, I'll work so hard to put on muscle.
Okay.
But then if I'm not actively training and eating enough calories to maintain that, then I'll just lose it.
Okay.
And I think that's the difficult difficult part. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I'll get one more picture for you while Candice chills here, because just soak the water, the milk in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that SWOT, I found that SWOT photo in there earlier today. So what's that about, the SWOT?
Well, it's something that we did with our team to just go over, like, we were analyzing our company.
Okay.
And how things were going
amazing,
overall.
First of all,
And so it's actually one of our team members that suggested that we do this, because she had heard about it, and we're like, okay, yeah, this is something that we should do. So the way we something that helped is we did it with the entire team. So it was interactive. So all those Post-it notes that you see up there are the different ideas that everyone wrote down.
Okay.
So SWOT, just a brief summary, is S is for the strengths. So what are the strengths of our company? Mm-hmm. W is for weaknesses. What are our weaknesses? O is for opportunities. What are some, low-hanging fruit or hidden gems that we aren't aware of that are out there? And then T is for, threats. And those are something we went, and that doesn't apply to business. That also applies to your personal life. You can do this with yourself as well.
Okay, that's when I saw that, because I said I have to, I cyber stalk you guys to get some pictures and stuff like that to try to, and I loved that. That was really cool. I saw that was a really good idea. I've tried some things like that, but that sounds really nice and simple, and sometimes you try to implement something and it's very hard to implement, but that sounds good.
Oh yeah,
I think I'll probably use that. I'm gonna steal that one. Yeah.
You recovered yet?
How you feeling? Just chill. Oh man, I feel so bad. You started from the wrong. I don't know if the other ones will have any taste after that. Yeah.
No worries.
So I just want to finish off on diet. I mean, there's definitely different types of diets, right? And there's definitely fad diets and all that stuff. So I'll throw out a style of diet, and you let me know. All right. So first one, keto.
I never tried it before.
Okay. What's your opinion on it? Yeah. You good? You feeling better? Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Okay.
As far as I know, keto is only
no carbs.
No carbs, only fat.
Fat and protein.
Protein, yeah. A lot of portions are fats, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to be honest, I don't know too much about it because I've never tried it. But
interest.
Interest because I feel like carb is really important.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not like it won't make you fat, or it will not make you fat just because it's carbs. So so I've never tried it, and I feel like what I'm trying to share on my social media is that there's no perfect diets. Like there's only diets that you can that's sustainable for you.
Like a lifestyle.
Right? Like a lifestyle. So keto, I've never tried it. Right. Have you ever?
I mean, I did a little bit of it. It was just trying it out, but I think, and hopefully this doesn't ruin the other diets you want to bring up. But at the end, but at the end of the day, really what matters is the whole concept of calories in, calories out. Okay. Like all these different diets that are out there are just really methods to do that. Because if you think about it, doing keto, what you're doing is you're removing the primary source of food that people most often consume, which is carbs. So the reason why it almost always works initially is because people aren't used to eating that much protein and fat. You know, if someone needs to consume 2,500 calories to maintain their weight, then what they need to do is, in order to lose weight, you need to cut back. So let's say you cut down to, 2,100 calories. Well, in order to do that consciously, it's a lot more difficult than if you just tell someone, don't eat rice, don't eat bread, don't eat noodles or anything like that. And then it'll be like, okay, well, what do I eat then if I can't eat that? Well, okay, I'll have chicken breast and I guess I'll just have some vegetables. And then so naturally those things are not as high in calories, so you'll end up not eating as much. But the problem is once you adjust to that diet and you start getting used to eating tons of fat and tons of protein, you can actually end up getting back to the weight you used to be at. Just because you're eating the same amount of calories.
Understand. Okay, cool. So, what about intermittent fasting?
Intermittent fasting, actually, this is something that I personally still do to this day. I've been doing it like over 4 or 5 years now, actually.
Okay, wow.
And it's just been something that I have been doing. And it started as something for diet before I knew the whole thing about calories in, calories out. Sure. But the reason I continue it is because I find that when I don't eat until later in the day, I find that I focus better throughout the morning because I get up pretty early, and then I'll get right to work. I'll have my black coffee, some sort of caffeine with 0 calories, and then I don't need to think about eating because I find there's 2 things. Like when you need to interrupt your morning to make breakfast, that's kind of like interrupts your workflow. That's the first thing. Sense, and then the second thing is not only does it interrupt your workflow, but you all know like there's the food coma you often get after you have a meal. And so I don't like that brain fog after having a meal. So I'll do all my, really brain intensive work early in the morning and up until about noon or lunchtime. And then I'll usually do, if I work out. Lately it hasn't been as much, but I'll try to work out and then have lunch.
That makes sense.
So I usually work out fasted.
I tried it for a while, and actually it's great, for sure. The killer for me is after a long day, like I'll usually leave home earlier, and I'll take my daughter, I put her to bed, and then I'll come back and pick up my wife, or she'll come home, and she'll be like, oh, I picked up like this tub of Lu Wei, and I'm like, oh, it's like, it's past my like fasting window, I'm like, I'm not going to eat it. And then all of a sudden she's just sitting there, and it smells so good, and it's like all noodles and stuff. Right, let me get a bowl.
Exactly. So, but again, there's another example of this is just another way of a forced calorie reduction. The reason why it works so well in the beginning is because people are normally used to eating throughout the entire day. As soon as they wake up, within an hour, the average person will have some sort of food. At least here in Taiwan, a soy milk or something, and they'll just have a little bit of something to munch on, all the way until usually right up until they go to bed. So that can be anywhere, typically 12, 16 hours or something like that, right? But when you take that and you cut it in half, the average person can't normally eat that much food in that short of a time period. So naturally they just don't eat as much. But the problem is once you start to do it longer, again, just like what I said about keto, your body gets used to it, and if you don't pay attention to it, you'll just eat what you normally eat.
What about the 1 meal a day? Which
now,
is similar.
So
similar.
This one,
crazier. I think.
This is pretty much guaranteed to help you lose weight because unless you are a competitive eater. You will lose weight because it is just pretty much impossible for the average person, I'd say 90% of the population, to consume the total amount of calories they need in a day in one sitting. In one sitting. And so even if you do that, you'll feel like really terrible after. It can be really, it's kind of similar to fasting. And actually when I was doing the competition prep, during the time when it was like getting down to the point where I had very, very few calories I could have, I actually ended up doing like the 1 meal a day just because I personally preferred having a large satisfying meal
Okay.
rather than splitting up a small amount of calories over the entire day, because then I'm like constantly hungry. But if I just like put it off until the end and then I can have, a nice normal meal, just one normal meal, then I'm like, okay, that
like
works.
A reward
Yeah.
for making it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
What about like cleanses, like the lemonade diet, the master cleanse, that sort of deal? Like
I feel like this is more popular in Western.
Yeah, in
not
Western
here
countries,
Taiwan.
like
okay.
I don't know
Everyone's
how.
looking for a shortcut
Yeah,
all the time, for sure.
yeah. At the end of the day, it's all sorts of like
Same
shortcuts and things like that. Like Candice said, it's all about a lifestyle. If you want to be fit, you need to develop a lifestyle. You need to start small and not try to like take on something all at once. Because say it does even work. Say you do some kind of tea juice cleanse with keto, or I don't know what you're trying to do, and it works.
Okay.
The problem is, I guarantee you're not going to be able to sustain that the rest of your life.
Yeah, as soon as you stop it.
Yeah, as soon as you stop, you're going to go right back to where you are. What you need to work on is developing small, consistent habits that can lead you to having a healthy lifestyle that will take you throughout everything else.
Yeah.
What about like a 3-day water fast? Have you ever heard of that?
I never tried that.
I've never heard of that.
Never
Yeah.
heard of that?
Didn't Keto try that before?
Really?
Yeah, I think he had a really popular video about that.
Really? So
Yeah.
just drinking water for
Yeah,
3 days?
basically
that's what I heard.
fasting for
I've never
72
tried
hours.
it. Yeah.
Oh.
It's supposed to like reset your immune system and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
Wow,
curious.
that's a big stream.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's a big stream.
What about like a vegetarian, vegan diet?
Wow, we've
just,
never tried it before
yeah.
because we're
Well,
meat lovers.
Okay.
Well, we've had vegetarian restaurants or vegan restaurants,
Oh,
but to
yeah.
actually commit to doing that for a long period of time, or as many of our friends do, like for
Okay.
their entire life, that's what they do.
Sure.
It would be difficult for us just because
Okay.
we loved a large variety of food.
Understand.
Yeah.
So flipping that 100%, Joe Rogan. I don't know
Yeah.
if you watch Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan did or is on like a carnivore diet,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
just meat.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No
wow.
vegetables, no
Yeah.
carbs, no
Yep.
just meat.
Yep.
Wow.
So, what do you think that would? How do you think that would impact us?
So I've heard a lot of actually good things about
Really?
that from the
Okay.
aspect of it. Really, it's really good for people with certain types of medical conditions, because
Okay.
there's a guy I know who has Crohn's disease,
Okay.
and he found that when he goes on the carnivore diet, he is able to really alleviate a lot of those symptoms of the Crohn's disease. And so I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like it's just something that you need to do for your own self. Like everyone's body is created differently. Everyone
Yeah.
has their own different unique self, and you just need to do what's best suited for you. If that means keto, go for it. If it's, intermittent fasting, that's fine. If it's carnivore diet, vegan diet, do whatever suits your lifestyle and suits what's best for your body.
Fantastic. I love
Yeah.
it. Should we grab another wing?
Yeah,
How are
so
you
what
doing?
what are these?
So this one is the base is like a jalapeno hot sauce,
Yeah.
but we actually tweaked it a little bit and with a little bit of wasabi in there.
Oh,
It's just
wow.
like, so it's actually, it was kind of something I was fooling around with, and it became
Yeah.
really popular. So
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
yeah.
Okay.
You try it first. If it's too spicy, let me know.
Yeah.
So you've tried this one before?
Sure. Yeah.
And-
We eat it
and
every week. Yeah.
Every week.
Every week,
And you're
yeah,
fine
yeah.
with
For the first while, it was pretty rough. Yeah, it was pretty rough, but
you get used to it.
you get used to it,
Wow.
like anything, right? Yeah. I want to bring up the logo if you're.
Oh, wow,
It's really cool.
yeah.
So what was the motivation, the inspiration behind the logo and the name? And you can talk about that.
Yeah. For Nuli, in Chinese it's Nuli, so like girls power.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
girls
Okay,
power.
okay.
And then so we want to come up with a logo. The name of the logo should be something that once people pronounce it, they
Yeah.
immediately associate with Nuli.
That's
And another
great.
details we put it out there is that little dumbbell, because we want people, when they see the logo, they can associate that with like something about health and fitness. And we actually particularly pick this kind of color.
That's really
Yeah,
nice,
so because we want, before I started this app, I look into different kinds of app in the States or like in Australia, and I feel like a lot of app is still like too neutral or like a more man. How do you
It's
say?
like-
Yeah,
They don't want-
Masculine.
So I think more places would be like one app fits all, right?
Yeah. So I feel like I want like the color that makes girls feel like comfortable.
Okay.
And it's not like fitness is not just for men, it's like for everyone, even girls. And so I want them to feel like very, very personal with this kind of color.
That's great.
Yeah, because our our target audience is female.
Sure.
So
Sure.
yeah, the color that we pick is very feminine.
Beauty.
Yeah, right.
What do you think, brother? Anything to add? She nailed it.
You talking about the wing or the?
Either one, yeah.
Well, I think Candice mainly mentioned a lot about the whole idea about it. She didn't mention that I thought of the name though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very creative.
Yes. Okay. Nice.
So,
nice.
But
take that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was because we had thought a lot about what do we want to call this, but we also wanted to make it very significant and very important that this really stands out, and it's not just your traditional like Candice Fit app or something fit app or something like that. Too generic. We really wanted it to stand out and be memorable. So the first aspect is like Nuli is the girl power, but also if you say the other way, which is
Nuli,
like
work
hardworking. So it's kind of like hardworking and girl power at the same time. So it's really cool because I always love it when people will talk about something somewhat related to our app, and they'll talk about hardworking, and they have to use the word Nuli as part of it. So they just kind of
they know
it's natural
they
marketing,
get it,
like
right?
they're bringing
words,
it out.
right?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
when it's I don't know if it's English is your first language, right?
Yeah.
So when there's when English is your first language, and when you have a second or third language, you're able to see stuff like that whereas like a native speaker cannot, right? I think like for me also, like my wife will bring up things in English that I never even related. But it's cool. It really makes
so I
sense.
think that's definitely.
I love it, Nuli. All right.
You should try that one actually. It's wasabi.
It's wasabi. If you like wasabi,
It's not
She's
gonna
on
be.
fire,
It's not
though.
gonna be as hot as
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh.
Really?
Yeah.
I
think you should go for it.
Beautiful.
That's fine.
All right. So how was the wing? Is all right?
Good.
It's
Yeah,
all right?
it's something unique. I'm not used to having like wasabi on a wing or anything like that. So
like I
pretty
said,
cool.
I mean, we have a lot of people that were saying, "Oh my gosh, that's genius! It's genius!" And I'm like, "Jalapenos green, wasabi's green,
right.
Not that bright, So
Not bad, huh?
Yeah, it's not too bad actually. It was something that kind of came up, and it actually it worked out. It worked out. Yeah, it's going pretty good. Yeah. I actually want to talk about this bad boy right here.
Oh
This
yeah.
guy right
So that's
here.
right there.
So I'm glad you guys brought that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So maybe you could describe what that was. I mean, I would imagine your app is about a year old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it started last year, but you got an award for it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe you could describe.
So we actually won 2 awards.
Oh,
we
beauty.
won best of the best app overall for Taiwan and Hong Kong in 2020, and then this one here is for best personal growth. So we actually had another trophy, but we sent that trophy to our developers because we wanted each part of the team have a trophy. And a lot of it actually we had to give a lot of credit to the developers because they did an absolutely amazing job designing the app. We obviously had some input about our thoughts about what we wanted it to be, but the actual design of the app that made it the best app of 2020 really went to the developers because they just did such an amazing job working on that. And then the personal growth aspect, I feel like Candice and the influencers definitely get a lot of credit for that because they're the ones who put in all the time to really make sure the content is really, really helpful. Like whether that be the workouts themselves and spending, the countless hours that it took to not only record the workout videos, but also the exercise voiceovers to give detailed instructions about how to perform the movement, but also things like the blogs that we post on a weekly basis in the app and even recipes. And I think the content, that's really what helped us to be able to win this particular award of best personal growth.
So you guys have recipes and nutritional tips, and you have kind of the whole package. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Congrats. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it must be something pretty cool to be. We just started. It's your first app. right? And you're winning awards and stuff. That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, if you think
Starting
about
off
it,
on the
yeah.
right foot, and you had your event a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and that you were able to get a lot of new customers at that time, right?
Right. Exactly.
And it was good.
So, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, fantastic, man. I think that's good. Yeah. Beautiful.
All right, what's this? What's the next one here? What do we got?
Next one. All right. So the next one is made with those bird's eye chilies, like those little Thai chili peppers.
Oh, okay.
I call them Thai chili peppers, but
Yeah.
they're actually like a bird's eye. I think the English name is. But
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, dive on into that, man, if you want. You can take your time. You started out. Oh man.
I started with the wrong one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
Hungry. Sorry about that. I didn't even notice. Yeah. So obviously, when you're doing like a business, like any kind of business, but I think now in 2020, 2021, you're gonna have a lot of feedback, a lot of positive, and maybe some negative, right? Is there? You guys had to deal with that? Any kind of like haters, quote unquote, sort of haters, or people like that, negative feedback, or not really?
I wouldn't
Yeah, you
say
can say
like
a lot.
I wouldn't say haters. I would say like users who give us
Okay.
a really critical feedback that
Okay.
it's to help us know, okay, there are some areas that we can improve for the app, because they would straightforward tell us like what's good about the app and what's not good about the app, and what's user friendly and what's not user friendly. So I appreciate those kind of feedback. So I wouldn't say that that's like called negative. I think that's very, very valuable,
Okay.
and that's something we always make sure we gather this information from all different users, and then we will like forward this to our developer, and then discuss with them, and then try to make sure that okay, next for the next app revamp, we need to implement those feedback.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like for haters, not really.
What about like on Instagram and Facebook? Well, you guys are mostly Instagram, right?
Yeah, mostly Instagram.
Still nothing? That's amazing. Wow. Okay.
Well, there isn't.
How was that,
I
man?
do.
All right.
To some extent.
Yeah,
Well,
but
especially
not
after
like,
AWS, remember?
Oh yeah. So we have a really
That's
big,
incredible.
yeah.
If you don't. Yeah. Wow.
No, like we have a really big app issue, bug issues last year.
Oh, I'm okay.
I'm okay. I'm good. Thank you.
It's okay. Bring that. That's fine. That's fine, man. No problem. No problem.
So that was last year, the end of the year.
Okay.
So AWS, which is Amazon, what's it called? Amazon
Web services.
Web
Okay.
Services.
Uh-huh.
So they have a. How do I explain it? Like, I feel like it's kind of hard for me to explain it in my second language.
Well, basically,
Like a review sort of thing, or
no, it's basically we had a major server outage, and so
Okay.
there was an issue with a combination of the server and the database, and it was just like the worst case scenario.
okay.
And then as a result, the app was down for 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like dying here.
Yeah, so the app was down for 2 days.
Thank you.
Like thousands of users cannot use the app for exactly 2 days. So of course we're gonna get lots
Oh,
of
yeah,
complaints
sure,
about
sure,
that,
sure.
and then
Yeah.
people say, oh, this app is not stable. I trust you, Candice, but how can you like?
How can you do this?
Yeah,
to me?
how can you do
Yeah.
this to me, or how can you make an app like this? But
Okay.
this is totally out of our control because
Yeah, of
this
course.
is from Amazon site, and that 2 days, man, that's like
That's a nightmare.
nightmare.
one of the worst
Nightmare
ever.
for sure,
Worst
yeah.
ever. Like
Yeah,
we were so like under so much pressure, not just dealing with.
Don't touch your eyes, please. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Just
don't-
be careful with your
okay.
eyes. Yeah, because that's happened before. People were like,
Oh,
oh
really?
my god. Yeah.
So not just to deal with like the technical issue, but also like thousands of users, and we got so many customer emails come in like every single day, and we literally like spent 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, to try to reply all these emails, and thankfully the issue got fixed, but also I felt like some of my audience already lost that trust
Sure, of course.
with me,
yeah.
so
That's
which
tough.
is really sad. But
is sad.
I totally understand. That's just how business works, you know.
It is. I mean, for us too, like, what was it? Chinese New Year. Like, we close the week before because the week before is usually slow. And then for the first couple of days we close, and then the last 3 or 4 days we open, and you're full every day. You're just like, and then there's a lot of like first-time people. They come in, and you know, we tell them it's going to be a wait for food because we're like super packed, and you know, some of them are like, yeah, no problem, and some of them are just like, they go crazy, and I'm like, well, you don't have to wait. I mean, you can leave, right? It's nothing I can do. I mean, it's, you know, because, you know, so yeah, we definitely, every time it's like a Chinese New Year or something, we'll get like at least one star review or something, and it's just like, and they just, it's crazy, but it's tough, especially when you're dealing with food, because people are hungry, right? So when they come to eat, they're like, well, they're hungry already, then they get angry, right? It's kind of crazy, for sure.
Wow.
What about yourself, man? Any how you doing over there? You feeling all right?
You're so sweaty.
I'm sweating. Like,
Yeah, good. All right. Let's get
That was.
This
a little
one's
sweat
really-
on that, man.
I would probably pass on that for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go for it, but
You take your time.
You should pass on
that's,
that.
no, I'm gonna try it. I want to try it.
Go for it. All right, we'll go all the way.
I want to work my way. I want to have that one, and I want to have that one. I know it's gonna be
It's
painful.
definitely
Just like
tough if you just
do you
jump
have
on that.
do you have like ice cream by chance?
Yeah, we got everything. Whatever
Okay,
you
I'll
want, man.
have
We got
like
ice cream.
just suck on.
Stick
suck
your
on that
tongue on
really-
the ice
suck
cream.
it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So it's pretty tough back then.
Yeah, for me, like, I play a much different role because I play more of the behind the scenes. Like, don't have to face the customers like Candice does. So I give
Candice
a
is the
tremendous
face, right?
amount of respect for her having to have to, face up to those customers because I just operate things behind the scenes.
Okay.
You know.
Is it tough for you, as you know, having Candice as your wife and being like this super Instagram influencer? I mean, you must be getting, I would imagine, crazy guys posting stuff. I mean, do you get anything like that? Like
Actually,
any crazy
no.
creepers or anything like that?
No, really, not that I know of.
Really?
Or is there?
No.
Well, that's great.
No.
That's good. Yeah. Let's keep it like that for sure. That's good. Okay.
But back to what he was saying, I feel like sometimes it's really hard for me to be like running the business at the same time. I have to be the face of the company, and I have, for example, like during those few days, I was so busy just like trying to fix everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to show my face on Instagram to tell people, what's going on, and I'm working on it and things like that. So I even did a live workout because people couldn't use the app. So I did a live workout with them.
That's
So
great.
back then, when I was doing the live workout, I was like, have to drop everything off and then stay positive.
Sure.
And
of
then
course,
like
'cause you're
assure them,
freaking out.
we will get this done as soon as possible, and then don't worry about it. Let's just work out together, something like that. But like, actually, I was like under lots of pressure.
Of course, no, like sometimes your business is there's something's happening and you still got to come out and be like, hey, no one's singing karaoke. All right, I'll sing a song, and you're just like trying to sing, but you're like, oh my gosh, it's stress. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy business. We actually got another chat up there. So from Giselle Lee, you guys are already done such a good job. Go for it.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Shout out to Giselle Lee. Yeah. I'm going to
you
pull
so
up a
much.
picture, and I want you to, tell me.
Oh,
I read your description on that.
I don't remember what I
it was
wrote.
really cool,
You'll have to remind me. I don't
So
remember
basically,
what I wrote.
you were saying that was the moment when you said Candice was a travel agent. Like, not travel agent, sorry, flight attendant.
Yeah.
And you decided to go fully into your business. And now at this point, you realize you were able to travel without having the benefits of the travel. The travel benefits. Yeah. And then
Okay,
you're
I kind of
like,
remember
we're
this.
actually
Yeah, this
doing-
was a
Okay.
while ago. Yeah.
So you really are an entrepreneur, man. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my mind is much sometimes, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. No, but it's a cool picture. Obviously, you guys are liking to travel, right?
Yeah.
We traveled a lot last year.
Yeah.
So
Not last year, 2019.
Sorry.
Okay.
2019.
No, that's okay.
Last
Okay.
year.
I wish we would have.
Yeah. Well, were you able to, like, as a as a new entrepreneur, were you guys able to, in 2019, let's say, you're still able to travel a lot and do your thing?
Well, yeah, so I'm really glad, like, looking back, I'm glad we did do a lot of traveling then. Because, like, in hindsight, we might have said, I wish we would have saved some more money and, like, not traveled so much, not spent so much on traveling and things like that. But looking at where we are now, like, I'm really glad we did, because no one knows how much longer this is going to last and how much longer until we're actually going to be able to travel the way we did. Like, I still imagine, even when borders do start to open up, there's going to still be so many different restrictions. You need to have certain tests or things like that. So to be able to travel like we did, if you look back, it's like truly a luxury to be able to have done that, you know. And so I'm really glad that we did that during 2019.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I got one of my favorite pictures. You're gonna love this one. Lamb, check that out.
Oh.
I don't know how that picture is not like on my homepage on my website, but it will be. It will be. Yeah.
Wow, look at my bicep.
It's such a great picture.
Way back when.
I was scrolling through and I was like, wow, fish tacos.
That's my favorite.
Fish tacos are good, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. And the tofu one.
The tofu, did you try it?
Yeah, I like that.
You know, the tofu one was something we were playing with for a while, and the sauce that we use is the sauce that my grandma uses in tamales, right? Okay. So of course she adds shredded chicken after, but we don't add that. We just keep it like all veg, and then we throw the tofu in there. We fry the tofu and throw it in there, and I thought, let's try this, and then it became actually quite popular.
I like the fish and the tofu the most.
All right, well, that's amazing. Okay, I'll take that for sure. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. I think I'm ready to venture off to the next one.
All right, let's get it, man. Grab it.
What's this one?
Yeah, that's Carolina Reaper.
Man.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a little
I've heard
spicy.
horror stories.
I'll join you on that one, man.
Wow.
Okay, let's just go for it.
Go for that.
Wow.
While he's eating that, you guys have a personal branding event coming up, right?
Personal branding.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday we're gonna share our journey. You know, not just like fitness journey and also like personal branding and also business. Yeah.
What are your tips for personal branding? Do you have something that you
personal
think
brand.
is like you guys are the personal branding, right?
For personal
branding,
I think that the most important thing is, well, like I said before, like really know what you love and really convey the message that's genuine, and also like you have to know what people spend the most time on. Like, for example, like right now, Instagram. Or recently, there's like, you know, Clubhouse. Like
I do. It's all over the place right now, right?
Yeah, right. So basically, you need to know the trend and what's your target audience. Who are your target audience, and like what platform they spend the most time on. And if you want to build a personal brand, try your best to be on every platform.
Okay.
So that means you have to put out the contents for every single platform. You can put out the same content, that's fine, but just at first, the consistency is the most important. You have to share your contents or like put out your contents there consistently, so people see your content every single day.
Okay.
That's when you start. When you start, that's very important. If you
post daily.
If you just like, I'll post twice this day and then be off for like 2 days, then your engagement is not gonna be good, and then people are not gonna follow you just because you post twice a day. It's all about consistency. Because people follow you when they see your content is valuable to them, and when they see your face consistently over the time. So for my tips, I would say, put out content on every platform, and also be consistent with your posts. Yeah.
What about have you done anything with Clubhouse? Have you guys tried anything with that yet?
We actually tried one time. But
you tried once.
I haven't tried it. What is it about? I mean, it's like just an audio only.
Yeah, just audio, just kind of like this.
Okay.
But it's just like on an app, and I still like trying to figure out like what people talked about. It seems like everyone talks about what they are good at, and One thing that I don't really like Clubhouse is that people talk pretty late. Like, my friends told me, oh, you have to be, on Clubhouse around like 9 or 10 p.m. Like to share your whatever you want to share, because that's when, people.
Peak time.
Yeah, the peak time for people. So, but I feel like, oh man, that's so late. I'm just gonna.
That's kind of like that's your time, right?
Yeah.
Like you watch a movie or sleep or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely different from Instagram or Facebook. It's like for Instagram and Facebook, it can be entertaining, and people don't really talk that much. People just like share the videos, and even the videos like within 1 minute,
Yeah, short videos,
but for
sure.
Clubhouse, people talk hours on in the Clubhouse.
I was in a group that was talking about Clubhouse, and they're like, "Hey, we planned on doing it for 45 minutes, but it was 3 hours." And I was like, "Ooh,
I know
that's
that.
tough." Yeah.
Yeah, the first time I joined the
Yeah.
room, I thought it was gonna be an hour, but it's like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Time flies. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man? How was that one?
Oh man!
You ate the whole Reaper wing. Wow. Okay. Beautiful.
Zoom in.
Zoom in on this guy. Let's go. Let's get the zoom on.
My
that.
mouth is still burning.
Can you get the beads of sweat on that? Yeah, there you
Wow.
go. Looking
man, you can
good.
see.
Looking good. Yeah, just don't touch your eyes with the same hand, and
Do
you're
you
good.
want
Yeah.
drink some
It's
milk?
solid.
It helps.
Yeah,
I'll try it. I might need some ice cream.
Yep. I'll call over for the. I'll call over for the ice cream.
Then I don't know if you're gonna handle it.
Yeah, maybe
The
not.
last one's a little crazy.
Last one is really great.
The last one's crazy. Yeah. Get one of these little. Lamb. I got this. I forgot to bring this out. I'll get you an ice cream. Can I? Do you want ice cream?
Oh yeah.
Can I have 2 scoops of ice cream?
And more ice water, too.
And ice water, yeah? Ice cream and ice water, yeah? What do we have? Vanilla?
Vanilla's good.
Vanilla,
Okay.
vanilla, yeah. Thanks, yeah. Awesome.
Wow.
Oh, man.
So do you guys have something that inspires you to not sweat so much? No, to keep the business growing? Like you have an event, maybe it goes super well, or you have an event and maybe it doesn't go as well as you planned. Do you have something that keeps you inspired to keep on growing, keep on trucking?
Well, for me personally, what keeps me going is the user story, like Nuli user story. Because, I don't know if you've seen any stories on Nuli's Instagram.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of girls out there sharing their true story with us, and while they're sharing, I'm like, wow, we actually are impacting, changing them, like impacting them.
That's amazing.
And I remember last time we did a fans meeting.
Okay.
And there were some moms joining the events, and they were sharing like how Nuli changed them. Mm-hmm. And while they're sharing, they were crying. And then I was like, I was like, oh man, that's the reason, that's the inspiration, that's the motivation for me to keep on and just don't quit. Because that was the week after AWS event.
Sure,
bug issue.
Okay.
And when I see that, I'm like, okay, everything. It's I can try to manage everything. Keep on going because these people they really love the app, and they really felt like the app really changed them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
wow.
so
that's amazing.
That's definitely my
Congratulations.
inspiration.
That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah. I did see a lot of the pictures, but I thought I don't know if I should pull those up because I don't know if people want to share those. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
But I
true.
mean, anyways, yeah. What about yourself, man? What keeps you motivated to keep on rocking?
Every time I feel business pain, I just take a hot wing and then
There
it
you
goes
go.
off.
Yeah. Like it can't be worse than eating this.
Can't be
wing,
worse
right?
than this. Oh man.
Yeah.
That was a hot one.
That was a hot one for sure. That's
Man,
there's
you
a lot
didn't
of
try this one yet.
there's a lot of
Come on.
Carolina
But I ate
Reapers
the
in
whole
that, man.
thing, like-
You
Yeah.
ate the whole thing. Wow.
Yeah.
You had a little bite.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
I think he might need some time.
No problem, man. The ice cream should be coming.
Keep
The ice
talking,
cream should be
Candice.
coming. Yeah, keep talking. All right. No
What
problem.
keeps you going?
You talk.
Okay. What about you, Candice? Do you have any maybe some tips for people that are thinking about doing something like what you guys are doing, or thinking about becoming an entrepreneur or a fitness influencer? Any tips for this kind of person who's watching you and saying, oh, I love Candice, I would love to do something like she's doing?
I think that people overthink, complicate things.
Sure, okay.
When they want to, start a business, or when they want to, I don't know, like do something differently.
Okay.
So I would say the only tip I can give is try to just take action. Like, don't be afraid of failing.
Okay.
And just, try first before you say no. And then also don't overcomplicate things. You can just, like it's exactly like how to lose weight. Is take that one step at a time.
Okay.
Like, people, when they think about having a business, it's like, you have to, prepare everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And then you can, go for it. No, it really starts from small step that you can take.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the tip I'll give them. Oh,
Who's
谢谢。
first? Who's first? All right.
Him first. 他刚吃这个，
Yeah.
他说他快
Sorry, eat
Can I
the
get
ice
some
cream.
more ice
Relax.
water,
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Hopefully this will help.
Enjoy that ice cream. Enjoy it.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I also agree. I think a lot of the times people will like overanalyze.
Yeah.
Like, so I read in a book once. They termed it like analysis paralysis, right? They want to make sure everything's perfect, and they're analyzing, and they're preparing, and everything's going, and then time goes by, and by the end it's kind of just like, well, I already kind of wasted that, and then they don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I also feel that this is something
谢谢。
really popular, that something that's a little bit crazy that happens a lot, and I try
Yeah.
to like I have some friends that are entrepreneurs, and they want to start, and they're like, what's your tip? And blah, blah. I'm like, just do it. I'm like, don't think too much, just
Yeah.
go for it. I mean, you have your idea. If it's something you like, just try it. What's really the worst that can, I mean, don't go borrow $10 million from the bank and try it, right? I don't think that's the best idea. But I got ice cream too. Sweet. All right. I haven't had ice cream on the show yet.
Oh, nice.
And some people, they'll think so much, and then maybe they'll be, I need $1 million to set up this business, and it's like, well, maybe start with something small. Try it out,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
And what's the worst that can happen? You're gonna lose it, maybe. But I always tell them, what's the best thing that could happen? I mean, you could change your life, right?
Yeah.
Like, again, for us, I can only speak for my industry, but yeah, we've done it for a while, and I love it. I think it's fantastic, and it's a lot of work, and it takes a while to get to a point where you're like, hey, this is doing pretty good. And now when we have some chances to expand, I kind of feel like, hold on, I'm kind of enjoying this piece right now. Let's put it off a little bit. So I'm kind of, it's enjoyable. So for sure.
Yeah, it's exactly like your story. Like, when you first started this restaurant, you didn't just open the restaurant all of a sudden. You start from
this.
It's like step by step, then slowly building up to right now. Yeah.
We actually, so I'll let you guys down your ice cream. I'll tell you a quick story.
Okay.
So we were thinking about doing it, right? And we were living in Danshui, and we were going up, up the Laojie, Danshui, Laojie, and we thought, let's, we're looking around, and there was this lady who sells like milk tea or something. I don't remember if it's Indian or Hong Kong or whatever. It's the one where they have the two cups and they kind of. I like it, right? I'm pretty easy when I'm in the market. I'll buy one. So we went and bought one, and we chat with the lady. We said, hey, how's things? And she's like, well, it's tough. And we said, how do you go about renting a place in a night market? And she said, well, this guy next to us, he owns this building, and he's selling sausages here, so you can rent this little piece of land off him. So we talked to the guy, and he said, yeah. So this girl, it's like her last month. She's got 3 weeks left. So if you guys want it, pay the deposit. And we're just like, we're just kind of asking. And he's like, well, these marketplaces, they go like so quick. So we're like, okay, well, we'll think about it. And we went home, and we talked, and we couldn't sleep, and talked and couldn't sleep. And then I'm like, all right, let's go. So we put our deposit in, and we weren't even ready. We're just like, let's just pay and let's just do it. And then we're like, where do we get a stand? We don't know. So we went to like Ximending. There's like a restaurant street behind Ximending, and you can buy all this stuff there. And so we went there, and they're like, okay, we bought everything, and we're like, what's the address? We're like, we don't know. we just got it. So it was a crazy situation. But once we started, it was pretty good. I mean, my schedule for the first year was crazy. So I was still coaching soccer.
Oh, wow.
So what I did was I taught kindergarten from 8:30 to 11:30, and then I went home for lunch. My wife would make lunch, and then we'd prep beans, rice, tortillas, and chicken. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I would go teach from 2 to 4. And at 3:30 or 4, I would go back, pick up my wife, pick up all the ingredients. She'd finish it off. We'd go to Danshui. We'd drive. We set up the stand. We clean it up, get it going, start selling, and I'd leave my wife there. And from, about maybe 5:30 to 6:30 or something like that, 5:30 to 7, I would go coach soccer. And then after that, I'd come back, and then we'd sell food till like midnight, right?
Wow.
So we did that for like 1 year. And it was crazy, sometimes we get to the stand late, and people are like, "Oh man, you guys are always late." I'm like, "Man, you guys have no idea the crazy schedule I have right now." So, but we did that for 1 year, and we found a place that was next to on the next road, and we rented the building for basically the same price as the stand, and we just started. We went to IKEA because we're like, we don't really have any money to go in the furniture stores or whatever. We went to IKEA. And we just took one of the credit cards and we bought all the really cheap tables and cheap chairs, and I like painted them. I'm like, oh, this looks cool, yeah. And then, we swiped the card and we just bought everything. It's crazy. Wow. Crazy experience, yeah.
Well, I love hearing stories like that because it's similar in a lot of ways. When you first get started, like it's always fun hearing those early stories, because for myself, like I was teaching. But even when I was teaching, like when I first came over, I also like tutored English as well at night.
Sure, okay. Yeah, of course.
So I would be there at school, 7:30 in the morning.
Yep.
Usually wouldn't leave until like 6 because it's a long school
day. It's a long day, yeah.
And then I would go tutor English from like 7 to 8:30.
Okay.
And then I'd go home. I'd be back home, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, then go to sleep and then do it all over again.
Okay.
But then after that, it was into coaching. So I started doing coaching, so I didn't really have to do the tutoring anymore.
Okay.
And then but the thing though is I was, at that time early on, before things were really taking off with Candice, I was also trying to do my own Instagram and YouTube and everything.
Awesome.
So I would be
trying
to edit my own videos at night and trying to film stuff and everything like
so
that.
Tough. Yeah.
And like, I still remember there'd be times where I'd be like on a trip to take kids to a tournament or something like that. And I'd be on the bus like trying to edit my videos or like work on stuff at the same time.
The hustle, man. The
hustle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny because sometimes, the hard work you've done and all the hustle, but most don't know, right? And it kind of takes one to know one, right? And then sometimes, like for me, even still now, people will be like, "Oh, you're lucky. You're just lucky." Oh, yeah. And I'm like, man, I was broke for 10 years. I mean, it's a crazy, it's a crazy ride for sure.
Yeah, like as Candice just mentioned, when she switched over to part-time, that was even more stressful for us because less money coming in.
Of course, yeah.
It's primarily my income trying to support us, and we're also trying all these new things at the same time. We don't know if it's going to work out. We're also trying to get married. Yeah. It's like all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I think you guys made the right choice. I mean, you guys were young. I think if you're older, you could, still try it out. But when you're young, you don't really have anything to lose, right? Like, I don't think. Like, just give it a shot.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen, especially here, like, if it doesn't happen, I'll be like, okay, well, I just go teach English or something, right? Yeah. But I think, I don't know, Taiwan's a good place to be, and I think the people are good here. And I don't know, I love it. It's a good spot.
Yeah,
actually, you guys are popular, So you guys already done such a good job. You're welcome, dear Eddy. Sorry for the Taiwanese impatience. Okay, no problem. Running a business on net or social media can be really challenging because you need a strong heart, bear all the feedbacks. don't follow much about that. All right, listen to your heart. All right, well, cool.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate the
Listen to your heart,
comments.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, these guys have no haters, in case you don't know, so that's amazing. That's pretty amazing, yeah. You're the first people that are just like, yeah, we don't have any. Wow.
Oh,
That's
wow.
amazing, because, you know, I always have entrepreneurs
It's more
on,
so
especially restaurant guys, like, I have fucking 1-star reviews, and they get crazy.
No,
they get crazy.
I mean,
yeah.
I would say it's like we don't call them haters per se,
Yeah.
because we get
Yeah.
plenty of 1-star reviews
Yeah.
for the app, and it's just like people will say mean things about it. You know, we deal with tons of really rude and upset customers and
Yeah.
things like that. But I wouldn't say like I feel like too many people would just jump right into like label them as a hater. But
Okay.
like I would say like if they're not really like out to get you,
Okay, yeah.
like they're trying to really, really harm you, like really tear
Yeah.
you down and
Yeah.
drag you down through the dirt, you know, even threaten your life or things like that.
Okay, well, I've
I
never
wouldn't
had that,
I wouldn't
yeah.
necessarily say like
Okay.
it's a hater. Like you're always gonna
Okay.
have those, you know, what's the saying, like, you know,
Yeah.
the kids in their mom's basement, like leaving the
Social
comments and
justice
stuff like
warrior
that.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
sure,
you know,
sure,
you're
sure.
always gonna have people like that. But honestly, like the stuff like that doesn't matter. Like Candice has told me times before, like she'll see, you know, rude comments on, especially YouTube. YouTube more than
Oh, yeah.
I get a
YouTube,
lot.
yeah.
I'll be honest. That we got good comments today, which is awesome.
Yeah, YouTube more
YouTube,
than
I've had a
than
lot,
Instagram
yeah.
because especially because YouTube it can be so anonymous and everything, and so obviously you always tell like the mean comments will always be from the ones that have this weird name,
Yeah.
not a real name, and there's no profile picture.
Yeah, no
always.
profile.
So
It's
it's
a
like
letter.
why would I even
Yeah.
bother paying
Yeah.
attention
Yeah.
to this computer in a sense? You know,
It's
like-
crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy,
just
yeah.
this made up thing.
I have a couple on the YouTube on this channel actually, where I had a he's from Bolivia, he's an entrepreneur, he has a school, and he was given like a lesson to one of his staff, you know, like, you know, dress the part, you know, like a boss, you know, just go for it, dress to impress, just, you know, go for it, basically.
Yeah.
And so I made a little clip about that, and I shared that, and got a lot of views, and I got like so many like, you know, F you hate Taiwan, leave Taiwan. It's like, whoa.
Whoa.
It was crazy. It was pretty crazy, but I mean, it's entertaining for me, mildly, right? It's kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Yeah, it's funny. But what about yourself, man? Any tips for the entrepreneurs that are looking at you saying, I like what he's doing, I'm going to try it?
yeah, there's a lot of things I could say. I think there's a couple things that stand out. One of them is don't quit.
Okay, don't quit.
Because I think there's so many times where you're encountering these situations, kind of like what you mentioned before with restaurants that close, you know?
Sure, yeah.
I feel like, and there's also the same thing goes for businesses. It's like I forgot like 95% of businesses close within 5 years or
Yes,
something
sure,
ridiculous,
sure. Something
like that,
crazy,
you know?
yeah.
And
It's sad,
but
actually, yeah.
I feel like it's not that there's a problem with business. You know, the problem isn't with business; it's the people who are behind the business. Because if you can't take hardships, then you're just not cut out for it. I mean, that's
Yeah,
honestly
makes
what
sense.
I would say is, like, business isn't for everyone. Like, I'll just be completely honest. Like,
Yeah.
some people think, especially nowadays, like, there's that entrepreneur culture that you
Hashtag
see,
entrepreneur.
hashtag
Yeah,
entrepreneur that you see all over Instagram and everything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's really not what it's cut out to be. Like, people will just post stuff on social media just to get more likes and followers,
Yeah.
just to like seem like they're living a certain lifestyle. Back to kind of what Candice said, and like posting fake stuff or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
But you know, to some extent, that might be true. And you know, hats
Yeah.
off to them. They did a good job. They worked hard. They're able to enjoy that kind of lifestyle. There's nothing,
Yeah.
you know, I have nothing against them. And you know, I hope to be able to do those kind of things as well. But the way I feel is like you shouldn't like post those kind of things and feel like, okay, being an entrepreneur is equal to this. Like really what being an entrepreneur is that's like the 1%. Like, you know, the photo you saw when we were in Italy and Milan and being able to
Beauty,
enjoy
yeah,
those.
yeah.
And like, that's okay. That's like a typical like hashtag
Wow,
entrepreneur.
there you go.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Hashtag entrepreneur.
yeah.
Like, look at me.
Entrepreneur
I
life, yeah.
I make money with my business and I'm able to travel the world. Like that's
Yeah.
the kind of post that you typically see.
Yes, sure.
But what you don't see is all the sleepless
AWS
nights,
picture.
the
Yeah,
issue
yeah,
with
sure.
facing, you know, tens of thousands of users who can't use your app. You don't see the stuff of like what you just shared
Oh God, yeah.
from sun up to
Yeah.
sundown, even later in midnight. You're just working your butt off constantly, like you don't see that stuff. And the reason you don't see it is because it's not sexy. It doesn't sell. You know?
Definitely, yeah.
But honestly, that's where the real story lies, is those hardships is really what makes or breaks you. You know, if you can't push through, then honestly, you know, I don't think that you're cut out for it. It's really just something that you have to keep pushing through. If you have perseverance, if you keep pushing through, eventually you won't make it. But if you quit, then of course you'll never make it, because you quit. You'll never find out what happened.
But it has to be something that you truly love, because remember when we were trying to do the fidget
spinners?
Spinners. That was
truly love.
So I'll add another point about that is, when I say don't quit, that's don't quit overall.
Okay.
But on the flip side, I would also say you need to quit, because there are some things where people just keep trying to do something that is not working. So for example, like that would be with us, still trying to do fidget spinners to this day, thinking that they listen to the entrepreneurs who say never quit, you can never quit.
Sure.
But there comes a point where you need to learn,
recalibrate maybe.
Yeah, when you need to quit. Like when you knew us a few years back, one of the photos you showed was like of the Afterburn boot camp, and we were trying to do that.
Yep.
It went well, it was okay, but it wasn't really quite doing what we wanted it to do. And so we knew, okay, you know, this isn't really what we should be doing. So we quit that as well. Okay. And we had the shirts back then as well, you know, like the
shirts,
contour apparel and everything like that.
Very
that was
cool.
went okay, but we realized, you know, it's not quite meeting our expectations, not quite doing what we should do, and most importantly, like Candice said, it's not something we truly enjoyed doing.
Okay.
So like, you know what? That's not the best, you know, we'll quit that as well. So I honestly feel like it's kind of like a balance. You need to know when to quit and when to quit the little things, but never quit the big overall thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, focus on the strength, like what your strength is pretty important. I feel like back then we didn't know our strength is like, you know, fitness. So back then we're trying to do a lot of things at the same time, and then realizing that, okay, first we don't have a sense of achievements, and then it's just not working. So we quit. And I'm glad we quit, because if we didn't quit back then, like we wouldn't have the app right now. Yeah.
I think it's kind of like failing forward, right? That's what they say. It's like you fail forward. Like for us as well, like when we started the stand, I thought, I can put one of these in every night market. You know, like, that'd be easy. That's easier than opening a restaurant. And then we just thought, we grew, we did the restaurant, well, let's try that. And then after, when I look back, I go, oh my gosh, the stand life is crazy. The life that I had was crazy at the time. We were young, like your guys' age, like 20, 28, I think, when we started that. So no problem. I all worked 16 hours a day, forever, no problem. But I think it was definitely, it was a good move to change it up, to kind of pivot a little bit, right? Yeah, pretty cool. I agree 100%. Are you going to go for that last guy, or are you going to pass?
I don't know. I think I'm going to pass. It took me quite a while
No worries, man.
to recover.
You pass, I'll pass.
Because the problem is, I found when you're struggling, you can't talk, and I'm like,
you
can't, because when you talk, it just hurts even more, because your tongue is moving, and then it's just like.
That's kind of why we put the wings in. And that's what the mix is for the wings, right? So do you have the tips? You were saying, we were talking earlier about some tips from you to keep on pushing, keep on growing, keep on, like, for yourself personally, what motivates you to just keep on going? I
think something that really has helped me recently is really to put things into perspective, because in the moment it's really easy to feel like you're the only one in the world who's going through this situation. Because to be honest, like, as I'm sure you know as well, being an entrepreneur is a very lonely life. There's not...
It's like a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster at the same time, and it's lonely. Like, there's not very many people who can relate to what you're doing.
Agreed.
Everyone can relate to having a 9-to-5 job and having that boss that they hate. You know,
everyone hates their boss.
Yeah, everyone can relate to that, but not everyone. Very few people can relate to the feeling of having all these employees under your payroll, not knowing whether or not you're going to be able to pay them the next month, and how you're going to make ends meet to do everything. You're going to have to sell something or do something extra to make ends meet. Like, there's so many, all this different kind of pressure that you need to go through. But at the same time, like, I look and look up to a lot of the really great entrepreneurs, for example, like Elon Musk, and you'll see
I love that guy. Yeah.
you'll see something goes wrong in the market. You talk about haters, man. That guy's got so
He's
many
got a lot,
like
yeah.
real haters who
Real
are out
ones,
to get
yeah.
him and bring
Yeah.
his stock down.
Yeah,
When you have people
Yeah.
whose only job is to talk down the stock so that
That's
they can
crazy.
try to make money,
Yeah, it's
like you just
crazy.
think about how twisted that is. That's just
that's crazy. Yeah.
crazy. And then sometimes they succeed and it'll bring the entire company's valuation down by billions of dollars. Like
Yeah.
overnight the company can drop a couple $1 billion. Like that's just
that's-
insane. Like just
that's
feel
next
like
level,
how would that feel like? Just imagine that kind of pressure. And then I look at, okay, I see that, and then I look at what I'm doing. And I'd be like, okay, man, if Elon was right here, he'd be like, that's just like you're dealing with
That's
that. That's
the
just
thing.
like child's play. Like, what are you
Yeah.
in kindergarten or something? Like,
Yeah,
grow
yeah,
up, come on,
Yeah.
you know?
Gary Vee would do the same.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this is
Yeah, for sure.
you're crying about nothing, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah,
I agree, man. I agree 100%.
yeah.
I love
No.
having you guys here. I definitely think you guys are awesome on the mic, and I think you guys should have your own podcast as well.
Oh,
If you guys have any questions about
You
that,
heard
let
him.
me know. Yeah. I think it's good. I think some of the fans would definitely be like, yeah, they would watch your show too.
Yeah.
So what's the last question? What's the next step for you guys? 5 years, Nuli app.
5 years.
Yeah, or 3
Wow.
years, 2
Yeah.
years, whatever.
Well, we definitely want to be the top fitness app in Asia.
Beautiful.
Not
Top
just in,
female fitness
Yeah.
app in the
Top.
APAC region.
yeah,
Beautiful.
not just Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely our ultimate goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I invite people on the show, they feel a bit nervous, and then they feel like, oh, I can't talk for that long. I can't talk for an hour, but we've actually been 2 hours now. Time
wow.
flies. Yeah, time
Oh, man.
flies, right?
That's crazy.
Podcast. So,
Yeah.
with that, do you guys have anything you want to add at the end? Before you guys say something, you guys have a personal branding speech. I believe it's next week. Is
Next
it next
Tuesday.
week?
Tuesday.
Next
yeah.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you guys want to meet them in person, go check that speech out. I will
Oh,
drop
yeah.
a link in the description.
Yeah.
I meant to do it earlier. I didn't, but I'll drop it in the comments as
Thank
well.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything you want to add before we call it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
We covered
wow.
it.
Well, the final thing is just, thanks so much for having
Yeah.
us over.
Oh,
We
Tom,
really
come
appreciate
on,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys for. I actually was like, I got to get these guys on before they're like the top of the top here, and they don't come to Eddy's Canteen anymore.
No, we love
No,
it.
we've been coming here for years, man. We'll
I know,
still
check
always
it out.
we
keep
were here
coming
last week,
That's such a great
actually.
picture.
Yeah, we were here last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that picture on my website if that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got permission, so
sure.
we have permission to use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Great. Thank
you
you
go.
guys for watching the show. Thank you guys for all the comments. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Thank you guys for coming. I know you guys are
Yeah.
busy. Entrepreneur life is crazy. We're always all busy, but
Yeah.
like you were saying earlier, consistency is something big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And like this show, we've been doing it for almost a year and a half, like every single Wednesday.
Wow.
And it's a little crazy, but now it's starting to pick up some steam, and it's good. It's fun, and
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And I get to chat with cool people. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. And
Yep.
don't forget to subscribe to the channel, right? And we will see you guys. Oh, I'm missing that. Yeah, there you go. We'll see you guys next
Yeah.
time. Bye.
Okay.